we're moving on. So now I make this one for a 9-inch round cake, and this is just one of the covers that goes on the eyes on a stove. And I measured it, and it's a little beyond 9 inches, which is perfect, so that it gives enough room for a full 9-inch cake with decoration around the edge. So I'm going to go ahead. I have this just on a corner of a piece of white and black foam board. You can use solid black if you want. Usually if I'm doing something that has more black in it, I'll use the black background, like when I made this base. This one I was going to use for this is the base that I mentioned earlier, that you can make a tall base to use. This one I was making for the Fortnite, and I changed my mind because I wanted if you were just going to make this as a base and put a plate on top, put the plate ring on top, to just use it just like that, this space would be fine. But because I want to add my panels, I need it to have it in the triangular shape. So now I'm just going to draw a circle around this eye cover, and then I will add on my base pieces. All of these will be cut in foam core, and the other pieces are cut on cardstock, 110-pound bright cardstock. I get just Georgia Pacific from Walmart. So I'm going to go ahead and trace around this, and also add my pieces for the base, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I have drawn out both of my plate rings where the cake plate will sit. Make sure that's focusing. And then I also, on this side, I drew out 2 pieces for the base, because I'm going to need one for, they're going to be crisscrossing each other. So these are the 2 bases. Notice I didn't cut out the strip yet. I'll cut that out once I glue these pieces in place. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down, cut out my pieces, my 2 circles for the cake plate portion of the cake stand, and then my 2 base pieces that I'll be crisscrossing. Sorry about shaking the camera. The 2 pieces that I'll be crisscrossing to make the base, and I'll be back. I'm using the X-Acto knife, and I'm just finishing my last cut on the ring or the cake plate portion. And just take your time, cut slow, so that this will be as round as you can get that edge. Try to stay right on your line so that both of your plate rings will line up. Okay, now we can start assembling. So I have both of my cake rings, and since I told you black on one side and white on the other, I can either do them both just on top of each other like this. I'm looking for the one that has the less of a pencil edge on there, and I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and just make a ring around in here. Doesn't even matter if it goes out to the edge, because it'll still keep it attached. So I just put enough to make sure that it attaches and holds, and I'm just going to put one on top of the other. Press so that you can make sure that they're firmly attached to each other. Then I'm going to put those out of the way, and I'm going to do my base units. Now I haven't cut out the strip yet so that they can fit into each other, but I just took both of the ones that have the slit at the top and put them on one of the triangles that I cut out in foam core, and then I have the other ones, and they're going to be put on the front and on the back of this one. So that we'll have our base. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on just like I did with those, and then I'll be back to finish with the assembly. When I'm gluing these on, I'm avoiding the middle. I'm just going to put some glue down on each side of where I'll need to cut out the little the groove to attach them. Then I sit it on end so that it will be completely on the flat surface, and then I attach it to the piece of foam core so that you get a good attachment on each side. Then I'm going to go back in and go ahead and just fill in enough to make these sides stay attached. I didn't go all the way out because I don't want my glue to spill out. So I'm just going to quickly make an outline of the area that's left in glue and smash that down. Close enough to the edge where it will keep it from coming up. So that's one piece, and I'll do the next one and be back. Okay, now that I have my pieces glued to the foam core, now I'm going to cut out the section where they meet and try to be as precise with this one as well, because you want to make sure that your two pieces will join together without having a lot of wiggle room. Although you'll still be gluing it, so it's a way to come back from making a mistake. I pulled out that little piece, and I still need to cut just to get the rest of that out. Just like that. Okay, now we'll work on the base. And what I do is I take a little glue and I'm going to put it on both of them. And then I take my piece, I set it on the spot where I want it, and then I lay it down on the table so I can make sure that it's right flat to the surface. Meets up exactly flat to the surface of the top layer. So you can see it helps it to be right on that edge. And I just continue putting a little glue along the edge, laying it flat, and rubbing it around. And from time to time, you might want to do a little wheel roll just to make sure that it's adhering just like you want it to. So I'm going to finish putting these around, and I have that little extra tab on there that I had mentioned before. So when it's time to overlap, you'll overlap it with that little tab so that they'll be connected in a continuous ring. So I'm going to finish that up, and then I'll be back. And I'm going to grab my scissors, because this is the end that I'm going to be continuing on my ring. So I'm going to grab my scissors and just clip it off of this side, because I already have that on the end of the other one. So I just clip off that little section, and then I'm going to continue going around my ring. Now I'm at the end, and I just take it over. There will be a little overlap on this side, so this will be one you can put to the back, but it took just a little under 4 rings. So I'm just going to snip this near that little tab. Maybe I'll just snip it at the end of that one. And I'm just going to finish gluing the rest of this area. And do my little roll. I have to clean up any residual glue that's on your cake form, your cake plate portion. Smash that a little more. And so now we have our top ring. We have our top ring of our cake stand. Okay, next we're going to try out these to make sure that they are fit perfectly. So you're going to stand one up on end, and you're going to just slide that opening. And actually, it probably will have to be a little wider if you're using certain foam core boards. I usually get the one from the 99-cent store, and they usually work pretty well. Actually, seems like this might be able to just stay in place with pressure. So I'm just going to carefully slide this down on both sides, trying to make sure I'm not splitting my sections. I made the fit extremely snug, so actually this won't even need glue because it's really fitting on there snugly. I'm going to make sure it comes all the way down because remember we still have to put our plate top on. So you could see that that's such a snug fit. I have a little ruffle there, but that's not going to show because we're going to have our LOL dolls going around the edge as well. So now that I have those in there, you can add some glue if it's a loose fit, but this is a very tight fit. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our LOL dolls onto our side panels. And when I was originally designing them, you remember I put 2 of the LOLs on this side and 2 on that side. And now you just have to see which doll will look best where. So I remember I had this doll on this side, and I had the princess on the opposite side. So maybe I'll use, I think I'll use those 2 on that side and these 2 on this side. I'll get that out of the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue my little LOL characters on. And you see where I want her first. I think right there is good. And remember, don't make their feet extend beyond your panel because you want it to sit flat on the table. So I'm just going to put some glue in the area that is going to come in contact with the panel and glue her on just like that. So there's one. Now I'll do my princess. However I want to position her, and I'll just put a little on her dress and down. I'm putting a little glue on her dress and down each leg. And I'll position her right here. So now we have 2 dolls added and the last 2 to go. She'll be able to stand pretty straight because she's not posing like the others are. So I'll put her right here. And remember, you can, if you wanted to add the child's name, you could have done that. I just didn't this time, but you'll see on the one that I made for Fortnite, I did use the child's name. Or you can just put the child's name on the cake topper. That part is totally up to you, but it's can basically be designed however you think you like it. Okay, so I have all my dolls. Let them dry up a little bit before I start adhering them to the base. Boy, I gotta get all this glue off of my cutting board. Okay, so now once those have dried a little bit, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put each one opposing the other. So I'll put these 2 like this, with the LOL in the middle, or I can do it like this with the dolls closer to each other, but I think I want to do it each one like this. And the glue gun out the way. So I'm going to set them up like this, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on, I'll put it on just the edge of these so that the one that overlaps will be going in the same direction as it is on our cake topper here. So the first two we're going to join are these two. I'm going to just use a little hot glue right there on the edge, and then quickly put my other girl right here. And I'm going to press that down so I can get it as flat as I can. And where I'm gluing this is where it's going to connect on the base of the board on these little flat edges. Stand it up, make sure it's flat, and yes it is. So I'm going to pull off. I was trying to make sure it's flat because this is just going to be the base that's going around, the panels that are going around the base. So I'm going to get my other two girls and I'm going to glue them the same way that I did those two. And I want to keep my arrangement that I had going. So I'll put this one here. So I'm going to put a little glue right along this edge. Try to get as little glue as possible so it doesn't spill all out and look tacky. And then I'm going to quickly put her over that area so that I can flatten them out, pull it off my board. And then I'm going to just continue to press so that I can get that seam as flat as possible and make sure that it's completely adhered. Once again, I'm going to test for flatness, and yes, it's flat. And the last one is going to go here. And I want to continue putting it on this edge. And quickly bring my last girl over and secure her as well. Pull it up before it sticks completely to the board. And then flatten it out as much as possible so that you won't be able to see the seams as well. I'm just kind of using my finger to move some of these sections from my super tight fit back in place. And let that dry just a couple of seconds to make sure it's good and dry and not coming apart. All right, now I'm going to join the last two girls together. And I'm going to continue putting the glue on the left side and joining the right side. So put a little glue right along there. Bring this one over and smash it into place. Moving any excess glue. Losing the ability to speak. And I'm going to set it up quickly while I can still have a chance to make any adjustments I need to make. All right, so I'll let them dry a few more minutes. And in the meantime, I'll show you how to reinforce this. Now, our top is going to go over this portion just like that. Can you see that? I think I have my camera kind of low, but it's going to fit just like this. And you can see that overhang will be covering up that little top edge. So now I'm going to just put, just to make sure that I can get this a nice flat surface when I put my top on, I'm just going to take a scrap, a bigger piece of scrap foam core board. Yeah, I think I'll make it bigger. So I'm just gonna get up a nicer chunk. That'll work. And I'm going to glue my base in the middle of this square so that I can get it level, completely level. So I'm just going to put a lot of glue here, a lot of glue there, and then I'm going to sit this in the middle of the board, and I'm just going to hold it a while until it starts to set. If I need to add in a little piece to make it completely balanced, I can do that. I'm going to turn it over and just put pressure just to make sure that it's flat. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry a bit. And this portion is going to be hidden, so you can set it straight if you want, but it's going to be hidden so it won't be seen. But I'll straighten it out a little bit just so you can see how the finished, how it can look once you get your pieces all together. And I'm just going to set this on here and just eyeball it to see that it's balanced, and that looks good. Let's set this piece aside and let it finish drying just like it is. I'm going to check on my ring of dolls, and they seem to be dry. My cake portion is dry, and now I'm going to just reinforce the base by putting some more glue around just where it meets that extra little piece that I put on. Just in case I missed a spot, this will make sure that it's completely attached. Now I'm going to give this a little time to dry because, as you know, the thicker the glue, it takes a little extra time. I'm going to just use this extra piece of foam core to make sure that I got the glue all the way in all of those spots that might have been open a little bit. And once this finishes drying, I'll come back and put the plate on, and we'll be done. Now I think I've removed most of the strings, the glue strings, and I'm going to attach the LOL border like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the areas that we joined them. That's what is going to be glued to the base, and then it makes them stand out in a ring shape. So for the first one, I'm just going to put some glue right down this edge here, and then I'm going to find that area that we glued them together, and I'm going to stick it to that area. I'm going to sit it flat, and I'm going to press it to that area where we joined it to begin with. And hold it a little while because it takes a little while. I'm going to make sure I'm there. You have a chance to move it over a little bit, which is good. And then you could take a look at it from the front and see if it needs to pull over a little bit, and this one does. So thankfully the glue is not hardened yet, so I can reposition. And even if it does harden, you just be careful when you pull it apart, and you could still just glue it right back. So I'm just going to apply some pressure there until I know it's joined. If I need to add a little more glue, I can. But that seems to be all right. Just let it set up a little bit more before I glue on the next one. So while that one's working, so I won't put any pressure on it, I'm going to go ahead and do this side. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue. I should have turned my board over. I usually turn it over if I'm going to be gluing on it so I don't have all this glue to scrape off. But I didn't do it this time, so I'm going to, once again, make sure that I'm in the middle of those two, and I'm going to press this on and give it a chance to set. You can even lay it flat so that you can hold down both sides if needed while they're setting. This side is the one that I'm setting now. And I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and cool. And then we're going to do the same thing with these two sides. You don't want to do it too quickly because it'll pop off the glue that's setting on these two sides. Then you'll have to start all over. So you just let that sit just long enough because it wasn't a lot of glue there. And you can use this time to clean off any residual glue. And that's my phone. So I'm going to pause it while this is setting, and I will be back with you as soon as it's set. All right, so those are set enough. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue on this one and do the same thing. Line it up with the middle and then hold it in place until it sets. And you can look at it to make sure they're kind of even. If not, you still have a little time to pull it over before the glue completely hardens. I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on this side. Put my glue down. Line my side up with it where I glued the girls together and try to center it between the two of them and hold it on while it sets for a few minutes. Now my top is set, and as soon as I have that side set, you'll see it's partially finished. And that looks very cute with your LOL dolls, a different doll on each corner. Now if you wanted to, you could put a additional LOL doll in here like I did with the Fortnite, and I'll show you pictures of that after I'm done with this one. So now all we have to do now is add our cake base where the base or the plate portion where our cake will go. And you're just going to load this up with some glue. If you have some in your glue gun, hopefully. And mine would choose now to act up, but I still have enough on there. Yeah, there we go. I have enough on there. And I'm just going to find the best side for the front. And the front is usually one of the LOL dolls. And I'm just going to sit my cake band on there. And this is when I turn it upside down to try to get it centered. And once again, this is an eyeball type thing. You're going to get pretty good at eyeballing dealing with me. And I'm going to turn it back over and smash it down this way just to make sure. And you have your LOL cake holder. Now if you choose to, you could make these where it shows the LOL doll from both sides. All you do is cut a reverse copy of each of the girls, but then you would have to put the LOL, completely on the strip, otherwise it would be backwards and it would show. So if you want to do that, you would have to put this straight and have it completely on the side. But there's our finished LOL cake holder or cake display. And I'll show you the final pictures of this one and the others that I made. You've been watching Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If you like what you're seeing, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you like the videos that I'm putting on. Hit the bell if you'd like to be notified the minute I get new videos uploaded. And until then, have a good night, and thank you once again for stopping by Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If you'd like a copy of the software that I use to design all of my creations, just contact me on Facebook under either Harriet Homes or Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus page. Send me a message and I will get a free copy or a free zip file link to my software so that you can download it and design and create right along with me. Thank you again for stopping by.